Yet another Electronic Goldmine jumbo surprise box review thing. This particular one is probably about the most meh of all the ones that I've gotten so far, although it still has a decent amount of useful stuff in it. There's a 1.2 watt speaker there, this ancient Cornell Dublier 500 microfarad 15 volt electrolytic capacitor there. Quite a few electrolytics, and there's a Ritchie Taiwanese made one that's, what is it, 400 microfarads, just an unusual value there. A couple of these 200 volt 47 microfarad jobs. A couple of these 160 picofarad, oh, those are what? Silver mica caps, which are of course usually fairly expensive new. So not a bad thing to have. There's also this one, which is I'm guessing 270 picofarads. Focus. Usually 270G. The G is 2% if I recall correctly. Also a Allen Bradley 220,000 ohm resistor network. Another electrolytic, but that's much more standard, 50 volt, 100 microfarad. Pretty much all the other ones are fairly standard. This fairly interesting telecommunications fuse, bakelite housing, made in Malaysia, patented 1969 there, SA3 Northern Telecom. There's just a little indicating fuse with that little green, whatchamacallit, pops out when the fuse fails, and it's 5 amperes, I think. I've actually seen one of those before. Also this little thing which looks like a resistor, it's actually a 1 ampere fuse. There's also this interesting little gizwiz. Combination LED flashlight on the end, and comes with cells in it. And there's a little hex hole there that under this cap there's a I think a number 1 Phillips and a either a number 0 or a number 1 Phillips and a slotted screwdriver, and it also has a little spirit level in it, so that's always useful. There's also a bag of 4 of these breakout telephone things. They're basically a thing that takes a double line telephone jack and splits it up to 2 single line telephone jacks, A and B there. These 4 gang RJ45 PCB mount jacks. Number of these mains rated film caps. 470 nanofarad. Also this interesting, fairly old for 1990s, old style for 1997. That's a 150 microfarad 6.3 volt lytic. Tip 36C power transistor. Number of carbon composition resistors as usual. A couple of these fairly interesting, what I think are some kind of signal matching transformers or something. Usual double more resistors, one of which has one of the leads cut off for whatever reason. There's also a 5110 ohm resistor in that bag, although it says static sensitive device because stupid. I have no idea why, because they're not really. If it's any kind of static discharge, it's enough to fry a resistor, you got real problems. Caps, thinking probably a blue LED, just judging by the fact it's got a indium gallium nitride die. There's also a white LED in the box as well. This is more of just a highlights thing. A couple of a pair of LM340K15 15 volt potential regulators, also marked 7815. I'm guessing probably 1 ampere, which I don't know, those might be higher current rating, but I don't know, who knows. And there's a 7905, just a negative 5 volt regulator, and a UA78M10C. That's a 10 volt 500 milliampere regulator. That's the M in the part number means that it's 500 milliamperes, and an L will be 100 milliamperes. All those are typically TO92 or some kind of a surface mount package usually. And of course, if there's no letter, then it's 1 ampere, like those guys. Couple inductors, some interesting thing in a bag. Don't know exactly what that is, but it's probably going to be some kind of resistor, inductor, or capacitor of some sort. More lytics. These are 35 volt, 33 microfarad Nichicans. 42 in 1999, 221 degrees Fahrenheit, which is always good. Also a little piano dill switch network there. These Basically just a ribbon cable. Part of the optical assembly out of a CD player, I'm guessing. Also a laser dad in there that might have a bit of a play with. Not going to, of course, be a risk of death, you know, the lasers, blah blah. And a RCA component replacement thing with a little tiny SAT23 device there. Couple crystals, 3,579,545 cycle per second NTSC color burst crystal, and a 10.245 megacycle, more of a general purpose thing. And does that seem like the, yeah it is. And a couple of resistors and a couple of these terminal things, and this thing which is somewhat interesting. Might have a play with this and see if it works. It's a combination 5 volt and 12 volt switching power supply, and what I'm guessing is the interface guts to a for a USB to either an external CD player, because it also has a external jack on it, or a hard drive or something. So I might have a bit of a poke with that to see if it works. Use it if it does. There's just a 5 volt and 12 volt power supply connection for the drive, and there's also this thing on a header, which I'm guessing is probably for a fan, because there's a punch out in the back cover for a fan, but none is fitted. And there's also a pair of these little, at this time useless, just because I don't have anything that mates with them, remotes for some kind of a car starter accessory, something or other. And as always, there was one of these, well, except for the last one, because my last one didn't have one of these, but as is usual, they actually have one of these timer things, which they seem to be quite desperate to get rid of, because ordinarily they're $2 a piece, but they'll sell you a case of 75 for $20. And if there's a non-destructive way of getting into these things, one of these would actually be pretty good as a ceremonial push button, especially if you replace these with, say, various color, you know, super bright LEDs or, you know, RGBs or something. But I don't know how to get into one of these as yet, non-destructively. When I do, I'll probably do a video on it. Also that Mallory sound alert, that's something else I got from them, but that I ordered separately, as was this little posistor thing. It's basically a temperature. It's basically a PTC kind of thing. Yeah, with a very precise characteristic used for things like controlling heaters, predominantly. And that's everything else that was in the bag of screws. There's pin headers, and those are, you know, usable stuff. Although previous ones have been substantially better than this one.